Okay, good morning, nights, or good afternoon, whenever you're tuning in. Hannah's here with me. You want to say hi, Feek? Say hi. She's doing her math. We are going to be doing some art. So everybody should have the hybrid packet at this point. And the warm-up that I want you to do today is the big one at the bottom where it says draw your perfect day. So I want you to think, and most of you have already done that prompt, but I want you to think about what your perfect day would look like. For me, it's coffee and bacon and sleeping in and watching the Food Network and hanging out with my little people. So just draw whatever your perfect day would look like. Once you're done with that, you don't need to work in the hybrid packet today because today is a distance day. So you're actually going to be working on your piece. I did not bring my piece from work, so I'm going to start over. If you are in the start over boat, you need to have a blank piece of paper, ideally a big one, but if you have a small one, that's okay too. So step one, in case you forgot, it's put a dot in the middle. So you're going to put a dot in the middle. This is where all of our lines are going to pass through. Again, this is also written on your directions. So you're going to do one curvy line going through that dot. Then we're going to go perpendicular. So that means crossing through. And so we're going to do another curvy line going through there. And now we have a little curvy cross. Our next set of lines is going to go corner to corner. And again, keep it a little wiggly. I'm not going super wiggly, but you can. You can do whatever you're comfortable with. So corner to corner. If you have the directions, you should all have the directions, but there's pictures on the back that go step by step. So now I have a total of 8 sections. So I did my curvy cross, then I did corner to corner. Okay. And now we're going to take each section and we are going to divide each section in half, giving us a total of 16 spaces. And I put my finger on the first one that I did, so I know that when I get back to my finger, I've gone full circle. You are doing this in pencil, remember, not in Sharpie. In fact, you don't need to do any work in Sharpie today. I want you to keep it all pencil. That way I can make sure that everybody has a brand new, well-functioning Sharpie to go over your pencil lines in. So you're going to go to 16 sections. Don't worry about the middle because we're going to be covering that up with our picture. So don't stress out about the middle. Okay. If you need to pause the video, you can. I'm going to go in and do patterns. Also in your directions, it says you want to rotate your patterns with straight line ones and curvy line ones because that's going to give us a new set of balance. And the very first thing you're graded on the rubric is alternating between straight and curvy lines. You were given a sample in class the other day to start with straight lines in one section and then bubbles in the next to set up that pattern and that rotation for you so that it was already set in place. Now, if you have that, you can go ahead and continue. A couple options were given also. You have to have at least 8 patterns. So you could do one and then do the same in the corresponding, do the mirror image of the pattern, or you can come up with 16 brand new patterns, but you cannot use a pattern more than 2 times. So we'll finish up. I'll put it down so you can see too. I don't know if that's helpful or not. You guys will have to tell me in person if that's helpful. And then remember to rotate your page. You don't need to turn your hand so you get, all these funky hand angles. You just turn your paper to meet your needs. When you're doing this with pencil, leave space because paper is a porous surface. And when you go onto it with Sharpie, The ink in the Sharpie is a liquid, and if your paper is porous, the liquid from the Sharpie is going to bleed out into your paper. So if you're making your lines super close together with pencil, when you go over it in marker, they're going to be a lot closer than you would want, and you might end up with a blob. So you're best off to give yourself, I would say, at least 1/8 of an inch or a centimeter. Okay, so we have that. And now, so we have a straight line pattern. We have a curvy line pattern. So in this space, it's going to need to be a straight lined pattern. Fake, do you have any suggestions? What would you suggest?
I would suggest you guys could do flowers.
That would be a good curvy one. So I could do flowers in this space. What is a straight line pattern that I could do right here? Think of something that has straight lines.
You could do a square one.
Okay, squares. So we're going to go squares and flowers. So we'll aim it down. Okay, and you need to keep doing your math. Which one? Yeah, well, no. Show 2 different ways to find how many circles. Count how many circles there are. 50. So how can you show 2 different ways to make 15? 10 plus what equals 15? So I'm going to do squares like she said, but I'm going to set it up first by doing lines. And I want to keep it straight, and I don't have a ruler, so I just grabbed the closest thing that I could find that has a straight edge. For me, it's a package of Post-its. For you, it could be your binder. It could be the end of a book. You can take another piece of paper and fold it up a couple times to make a straight edge. I can't draw anything straight or hang anything straight, so, you know, that was not a gift that God gave me. So I have to use a straight edge. But some of you are really good at making straight lines, so if that's you, go ahead and do that. We're going to carry this all the way through. Remember last week when we talked about Bob Ross? Not last week, on Tuesday. It feels like a week ago though. And the Happy Little Accidents. I feel like he was the happiest TV artist ever, and I feel like I'm the grumpiest. I feel like every time I make these videos, I'm a crab cake. I think it's just the whole 2020 thing. To be honest, I think it's just kind of wearing on everybody. Okay. That's not going to work. So now, to make good squares, I'm just going to pick, I'm going to go every 2 lines. So 1, 2, and see how not straight those are. God. Not my gift. 1, 2. But by choosing a regular amount, a regular distance between each line, you'll get a better result. It's just a little more consistent. There we go. So there's some squares. Okay, so now we have lines, circles, and squares. Okay, good job. You're done. So go to the next page. She's doing math. She likes math. I'm going to go flowers, and that's a pretty good one. So if you think about drawing a flower, it's really just a bunch of circles and half circles. So if you want to do that, you can just come in, circle, bunch of half circles. So again, this project, it is not meant to be complex. The entire purpose of this is to get you comfortable making lines over and over and over again and producing a piece that you can be proud of. So something that you're going to look at and think, hey, this looks pretty sweet and I made it. That's the whole point. Okay. I'm not going to go through and complete the entire thing on the video because I'm sure you'll be bored to tears by the time that's over. But I do want to give you a couple more sample patterns. So another good straight lined pattern, you can do arrows. Arrows are super fun. And it's just straight lines. Oh, she says I can do diamonds. That's a good one. We can do some diamonds. Do your math. So come in, do some arrows. Oh man, I did the lines wrong. That's okay. So now I'll just, my Bob Ross, my little happy accident right there. See how I did the lines go in a different direction? So I'm just going to run with that. I'm going to do some arrows with perpendicular lines and then some with parallel. But either way, you know it. As long as you rotate them enough, it won't look like an accident, you know. I'm really good at making mistakes. In fact, I would go so far as to say that if I had a superpower, it would be making mistakes. So I'm not going to fill in the whole space, but you get the picture. So we're going in, we're doing that. Another good curvy one. Everyone seemed interested in the fish scales. So I need a little room to do that one. But one of the fish scales is these bumps. It's almost like rainbows. And you repeat it 3 times. And when you get started, it's kind of difficult. But once you get into a space where you have more room, there we go. Basically, it looks like a rainbow. And you come in and you just keep repeating the pattern. And when you fill in the space with the little rainbows like that, and you go to color it and you alternate your colors, it looks like scales. Fishtail or mermaid or whatever you want to go with. Yeah. What was another pattern I wanted to show you? Oh, the dots and lines. That's always an easy one. So you could do just come in, make some, you can do diagonal, and then throw some dots in there. It's just easy. And when you go to add your color, that's kind of where you get the big bang for your buck. So you there's that pattern that you can do. And I'm keeping it super simple. Hannah says diamonds. So if you wanted to go through and draw diamonds in one area, you could do that also. I'm not going to continue on with that. There are some sample patterns too